Jill Vogel's here. Okay, so now that you're here, because we have to ask you this question, 2 of your supporters for your campaign got subpoenaed yesterday. What is going on with this thing?
I got to tell you, I've never seen anything like the stuff I'm seeing on the other side. I don't know. I have no idea.
So, I mean, no lawsuit has been filed to your knowledge. I mean, they didn't file it to the wrong address, did they?
No. No.
So, and then Waverly Woods, who is a supporter of yours, an activist, and Ron Hedlund, State Central member and activist, get subpoenaed by, who did the subpoena? Was that Locke? Was that Reeves' lawyers? But there's no lawsuit. So one of our lawyer advisors says it really doesn't make any sense because you got to have a lawsuit to get a discovery for a subpoena. So we're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. No one knows?
No idea. Absolutely.
Bill, what do you think? Oh, we already got your opinion on it.
You got my opinion on it. Look, there's an unserved lawsuit. You can't conduct discovery one-sided. It's trial by ambush. You don't allow that. You know, it's. I don't get it.
I would just say this: we have a really important
supporters getting subpoenaed.
Let me just say this:
does that feel good to you?
We have real issues in the Commonwealth of Virginia that are really important, and I know we're running a winning lieutenant governor campaign that is going to win this nomination. And we're going to win the nomination because everywhere I go around the Commonwealth of Virginia, we have huge amounts of support from people who are listening to the issues and who are highly motivated because they've seen Virginia on a losing streak for a really, really long time. And they want to see candidates who aspire to engage on issues of great substance, whether it's the regulatory reform bill that we just passed that is of great import, probably one of the most significant bills we'll pass this session, whether it's dealing with the economy or whether it's tax reform or whether it's just basically getting government out of your life, getting your health care freedom back, getting your Second Amendment rights restored and, or your freedoms back. The bottom line is, here you go. So here's what I want to say about that. This effort to divert attention and to be incredibly negative and to go after people's supporters. I mean, who does that? And I just find it disappointing. It's not something that I would expect
of any
of my colleagues. Yeah. And it just speaks to something else that is obviously going on that is horribly, I don't know, that I don't understand. And it's been a political stunt after a political stunt. And, it's not doing anything, in my view, of any value other than dragging that one candidate down. It's really sad, actually. It's really sad to watch. And so in my view, what's most interesting of all is I travel around the Commonwealth of Virginia. Real people who care about this race are not engaged in any of that. They don't know about it. They're not paying attention to it. It's been 100% irrelevant no matter where I go. And so that tells you that people aren't interested in negative and political stunts and things that are meant to drag people down and setups and ambush and going after people's supporters. That's the part when I say that. Who does that? Who goes after people's supporters? I respect my colleagues and the fact that they have great support. And I go out of my way to be, to genuinely embrace their supporters. We go to events all the time together where there are people who do not support me, but support my colleagues. And that's the way it's supposed to work. That's how democracy works. We engage, we have differences of opinion, and you have supporters who love you, and you have colleagues who have their support. But to go after them is just, in my view.
So to catch our listeners up, Senator Reeves, with this email scandal, he subpoenaed, sent a subpoena to two of Jill Vogel's supporters, not workers, not campaign workers. That would be one thing. Supporters, Ron Hedlund from Henrico and Waverly Woods from Virginia Beach got subpoenaed as part of this email scandal type situation, which floored me when I saw that. So were they upset? What did they call you? What did they say?
Well, what's interesting is that I think the only rational explanation for why someone would try to harass them and go after them is just that they've been really effective grassroots advocates for my campaign. And we have hundreds and hundreds of them around the Commonwealth of Virginia. And, to go after them in a way that's meant to be either embarrassing or to try to make them be quiet in some way, to try to make them, be less engaged is really, in my mind, just, incredibly just in my mind violates all the rules of the game.
So you have
here.
hundreds. You have hundreds
so many
of supporters. So
right.
Why just those two? Why do they pick those two out?
I have no idea.
I
No
mean,
earthly idea.
Is it
Just
a shot
random.
across the bow, Senator? I mean, what?
Did you hear Derek Jeter and his wife are having a baby? Isn't that great? Man?
Here's
That's
the thing.
not a
If
very
anything
graceful pivot.
rational was going on, I would say, but there's been nothing rational about any of that effort to, draw attention to.
Details of the case or anything beyond what I've seen, but I really think that's going to backfire.
It already has backfired, and there
I
is
really
no case,
don't-
and that's what
you start
undermines all the
subpoenaing
credibility.
People's supporters. I mean, I just don't think that's a good idea, because I don't want to get served with a subpoena, right? Because I'm talking about somebody's campaign.
Let's talk about character and integrity to lead, and the issues and the things that matter, and the things that our supporters care about. And that also includes how you conduct yourself in a campaign, your ability to engage in a way that is both kind but also effective, an effective advocate on issues. That's what campaigns are about. And that's what people in the Commonwealth of Virginia and in my party expect of us.
Senator
They don't
Vogel.
expect setups. They don't expect stunts. They don't expect media displays. They don't expect within our own party for this kind of a thing to play out. And that's what has been, I think, incredibly disappointing. And I don't think it does anything to help any one candidate's cause, for sure. And certainly doesn't contribute anything that's constructive.
Senator Vogel.
The only thing it helps are the Democrats and the media. Gives them something to write about and something to talk about. Otherwise,
Well,
I think
we're
this
talking
should
about
just
it.
go away. I clearly, you're
Well,
the
it can't
media.
go away when you're filing subpoenas, Bill. I mean, what the hell do you want me to do?
I
mean, it
always
can't
like-
go away. The
I
guy's
always
filing
like to look-
subpoenas. You want to?
I always like to look on what can be, not necessarily what is. And I think the best thing that could happen right now is that everybody gets back to the issues. And my wife has a really good phrase to my kids when they're doing something she doesn't like, and it's called "knock it off." And that's what she says to them. So that's my
Well, that's a
advice
message
to
that
the
you
other
have to
side.
send. That's not the media's job. My job is to talk about the issues at hand. And two supporters of Jill Vogel's got served yesterday with subpoenas in Virginia, and neither of them are paid staff. It would be one thing if they were paid staff. Then you could say, all right, I'm going to subpoena your paid staff, lawsuit or not, because you could say maybe they were involved. These are just people, these are volunteers.
Yeah.
I don't know why you subpoena volunteers, and then you're expected not to talk about it. So here's my final question. Do you think integrity and character, Senator Vogel, has now become an issue in this campaign?
He asked you.
Absolutely. I think how you conduct yourself in a statewide campaign, your dignity and your respect for your colleagues, and how you engage and how you treat people and how you treat people's supporters is absolutely important. And I think it's important to those people who will go vote in June. And I think also your ability to engage in the issues that matter. And I think that, I'm out there running a campaign and engaged 100% on issues that matter. And, that's all anybody cares about. And so, if somebody else wants to engage in a different way, it will never, ever, ever end well.
Senator, thank you as always for your candor and forthrightness. Just as an analyst, I really think the subpoenas of volunteers for your campaign by your opponent, Senator Reeves, is going to backfire. It doesn't feel good to me. Kellyanne Conway going on TV at 7:30 last night didn't feel good to me.
Right.
The subpoenas don't feel
We
good to
have
me.
a long history of people
It just doesn't feel good.
harassing other people's supporters, and that is never
not a good idea.
ever welcome. It's never appreciated, and it's never supported by any of the campaigns.
I mean, they had nothing to do with it. Even
Absolutely
if they did,
not.
they're volunteers, and there's a long way to get there. And so it really felt like they were being violated in some way. Because, look, with all the stuff going on with the protests, you want to be able to do what you want politically and not be under that type of pressure. And, again, if they were paid staff and there was a
Think
case.
of the volunteers and the people who give of their time.
Yeah, it's not good.
And spend it because they are passionate. And the people who are engaged in Republican primaries and have been engaged and helped in this most recent presidential election, look at the passion. Look at the thousands of volunteer hours.
Right.
They should be supported. They should be appreciated. They should be thanked.
Right.
Because they're going to help you in the next election.
Right.
So why would you ever want to go and alienate anybody? I want everybody's support. So I have no intention ever of alienating anybody.
Right.
And the more political stunts that get pulled and the more, ambushes there are, that doesn't do anything constructive. And all you're doing is undermining your own credibility as a candidate. And in the end, you're going to have Zippo left. And so I hope to have, all of my colleagues who are in this race, the support of their supporters at some point. And so why would you ever attack your colleagues' supporters? They make the decisions they make and put in their volunteer hours because they are passionate people. And they believe in the same things I believe. They're in my own party.
Yes. And
you guys have a great day. I got to go to work. I got to go.
Senator
I got to go present bills.
Thank you for your candor
it's
today.
It's always wonderful to see you.
It's always
Thank
good
you
to have
for
you on.
all the wonderful things you do for our side, man. You're the best.
Thank you so much.
See you later.
I hope I don't get subpoenaed, right? That's all I know.
Ambush.
Not a good idea.